sewer and
Let
streets?
Steve finish, please.
Yes.
But it comes down, it's a philosophical argument. The philosophical argument is if individuals want to have those improvements, they will support, you know, whether it's referendum or whether it's bond issue or whatever, to have those improvements. But I am telling you that one of the reasons why you're sitting in that seat right now, Chris, is because the previous mayor was excoriated by the people of this community for that 25% mill levy increase.
And you use that as a campaign point.
And so we all need to be pretty darn careful about having those philosophical discussions regarding we can't give anybody back any of their money.
Yes.
Well, what's yet? I mean, when we're already running 4% above revenue projections now, and we're going to be running 8% above the previous year's revenue projections next year. When is yet? When is the end date? We don't have one. You know, and I'm going to make this argument, and maybe I'm going to be completely blown out of the water by the rest of this governing body. But at the end of the day, it comes down to who are we representing? What is their bottom line? Not necessarily our bottom line, although our bottom line is very healthy. It's healthier than we thought it was going to be. And that's the point. If our bottom line is healthier than we thought it was going to be, we need to give some of that back to the taxpayers.
So, can I make a comment?
Absolutely.
I have absolutely no idea, or no problem giving a picture, because honestly, and I heard this when the mill was being increased a few years ago, we received some feedback from citizens that said, listen, if it means getting something done, I'd rather go ahead and do that, because the increasing the mill provides a bigger pool of money, which is more beneficial to the city. That wasn't consistent. I get there's people who don't think that, but let's tell the story. You know what? Let's show, hey, here's your option. We can lower the mill. This is the impact to the budget. These are the things that won't get done as a result of it. Or you can have whatever the impact, $15 a month, and let people speak to it. Because I think people will be surprised at the answer. But
How much is the mill worth again?
Roughly $130,000 a year citywide, or a mill to average homeowner is $18.14 a year.
I know, but it's still
So
their money.
36 mills would be $36.
I have absolutely no problem doing that.
And so maybe the solution, and this gets back to what, you know, Cheryl and I said we talked about today, and that is, you know, everybody talks about economic development. You want a real economic development plan? Show that coming out of a recession, the city of Gardner is lowering its mill levy on a consistent basis. So why don't we just propose taking whatever that $230,000 and lower one mill and give the rest as a cost of living increase? That way, you have a cost of living decrease for the taxpayers, and you have a cost of living increase for the employees.
Does anybody want to go back to talk about the money that we've set aside for salary increase?
No.
Anyone?
But he's pointed out, though.
I'm sorry? Is anyone?
No.
Steve? Okay.
All right.
So let's take that part of it off the table, and maybe we could narrow that off as part of it.
I would like to see the numbers.
Absolutely.
The two mill reduction numbers, and however many years out that the window needs to be 5 years or whatever the normal window is. I think it would be interesting to see.
All right, that was one of my questions. The second question, real quick, Youth Leadership Council. Let's get back, because unless people want to talk more about the mill, probably not. Youth Leadership Council. I was looking through the budget items on Parks and Rec, and I'm assuming that's where it would sit, right? I did see a significant increase in the instructional recreation. Is that the Youth Leadership Council, or is there another item in here where that's cited? Because it goes from 12,000 to 53.5. I'm assuming that is where YLC is.
I believe that's the case. I'll confirm that.
Okay. All right, because that's considered under contractual services for general fund Parks and Rec. If that's the case, are we outsourcing some of the development of that? Is that what that's for? I just didn't see it here as a broken out line item, so.
Sure. I'd be happy to send detail about the Youth Leadership Council program to all of you.
Yes.
But it's a number of components, under that title, so to speak. In short, one of the things that we heard loud and clear through our community outreach, specifically from the faith-based community, was to find programs and find ways to engage more of our preteens and teen age groups.
Yeah.
So that's an effort to reach out to them. I'd be happy to share additional details with you.
Yeah, I'm not trying to make a philosophical argument
Sure. No, understood.
against the program. I just needed to know where
You bet.
those dollars were going to be allocated. Thank you.
You bet.
And then, last thing is, I was looking at the police SUVs, and I'm assuming, we have had cost justification on that for inclement weather vehicles, so that when we have bad snowstorms, blizzards, floods, those kind of things where we can't get to them through conventional vehicles, that we have some high-profile vehicles that we can do that. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, are these a replacement for existing vehicles, or are they gonna be leased, purchased? And the last question is, can we look at potential, funding for such units for, via some sort of tactical, program, for, as part of a tactical unit, maybe? I'm just looking at options here, rather than just spending the $72,000 out of fund budgets, out of general fund.
Okay.
Where would we, how does that work? Because I don't see any details other than the $72,000 for 2 police SUVs.
Okay, your first question is, if they've been costed, yes, those numbers come from the contract of what it takes to purchase them. That's how we got the number.
Yeah.
That is correct, that's how we got the number in the budget. We buy them off of a pooled contract. I think what you're asking is, can we look at some grant sources to be able to purchase them other than spending general fund money? And the answer is, yes, we can look at grant funding to do that, not by this next budget year, but we can. In the future, we absolutely can. And one of the things we're requesting here is to be able to have someone to do grant management, writing, contract management for us, because there's grant money that we're just not making use of.
I'm thinking more of the capital outlays in the future for these larger projects and larger requisitions.
Yes.
Because, as I said, I don't want to keep going the well with the taxpayer, and I know that there's areas of the budget, like, for example, the police station, where I think we could get significant grant help. Understanding that, obviously we have to have some ability to write those grants. But
Yes.
I think that we've underutilized that tool in the past, and I think we need to look at utilizing it a lot more in the future. That's all I've got.
Sure.
Christie, anything? Tori?
No.
Larry?
I haven't read the book yet, so no.
Okay. Heath?
The only thing I do have is, and if we're receiving this in a way, forgive me, but once the 2014 budget has been closed, I'd like to just see a summary report of the actual, just a final review. I'm not sure if we've received that in the past, but I know we get it as part of the budget book here.
Okay.
I'd like to have it before, just to be able to review that.
We actually, maybe you want it sooner, but we reviewed 2013 in April.
Okay, if it's possible to receive it
Which,
sooner.
we did it in the part of the presentation.
Yeah, as soon as those numbers become a reality, I'd love to have a part of that and just be able to review and see where we are.
Okay.
That's it.
Did the update that we did tonight, that's what you're talking about?
I'm
Something like
sorry?
that. Something like what we just did tonight?
Yeah, a little more, but just basically showing the 2014 actual towards 2014 budget, and just those two, the real numbers versus the budgeted numbers.
Okay.
So we can get basically a scorecard of what we were able to do versus the budget, prior till the April summaries with, what we need from the county reporting stuff.
Okay. Good enough? Need any other direction? Think you got it?
Thanks, Laura.
Laura, we're gonna get you a couple more double-ended candles.
You what?
We're gonna get you a couple more double-ended candles.
That would be great.
Listen, I know September's coming.
Just don't want to get eaten by a bear.
That's right.